did they not get shot on sight as soon as the police arrived? Ask yourself that question. But yeah, they get 2 feet, and then what we see is from a blurred vision with a tree in the way from a high. How comes we don't have any footage at ground level from a number of different phones showing the moment they got shot? So some people say like, oh well, it's not a fake and blah 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 blah. Okay, so go through what I've picked up on, and then ask yourself the same question: how could it go down the way they portrayed it to go down? Now, like I said, I don't want to take too long. I'm going to go on to there was a woman that lives in Cornwall who was in Woolwich at the time. I'm going to read you some of the things she said in her witness report. But the main witnesses, these angels of Woolwich, I haven't seen a spoken. You'd think that after what they'd witnessed and after what they'd done, they would be on TV giving witnesses. But look, we've got written reports from them. So, her name's Ingrid Loyal Kennett. He's insisting she's not a hero. I feel like a fraud. This is what she said. He's insisting she's not a hero. I feel like a fraud. I don't think I did something courageous. In the Second World War, people would do something like this every day. I feel like a fraud. I don't think I did something courageous. Right. As she sat on the bus watching the world go by with her suitcase on the number 53 bus, it passed through Woolwich on the way to Parliament Square. It was here that she suddenly forced, as she described it, to confront evil. Her remarkable response triggered headlines around the world. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, right. So basically what she's saying is she saw a body lying in the middle of the road, and a few feet away a car smashed into a lamppost. Now, like I said to you before, there was never any sort of information saying it was crashing into a lamppost. It was that it had crashed into the guy. There was nothing, even when you look at the video footage, there's nothing to suggest that it was crashed into a lamppost. But anyway. But a few months later, she was being confronted by 2 men holding a selection of butcher's knives and a gun in their blood-drenched hands. Okay. David Cameron, the following day, saluted her courage, refusing to flee or panic, and instead prevent further injuries being inflicted. Further injuries. Apparently, they decapitated this guy. Chopped off his head and whatnot. So what can you do to prevent any further injuries? And like I said, after seeing that, would you really kind of put yourself at risk for some more of the same treatment? I went to the body and started to take his pulse. She's got no head, but she's going to take his pulse. Speaking rapidly in a strong French accent. But a Caribbean lady kneeling by his side said, "No, no, no, he's dead." I asked if she was sure, and she said yes. Oh man! So she still felt for a pulse after that. Her first aid training made her think a severed artery in his arm might have weakened the flow of blood to the wrist. Then this black guy said to me, "Don't touch the body, go away." She looked up and saw a man. And saw right in front of me 2 bloodied hands, one carrying a revolver and the other a meat cleaver. Blah blah blah. Right, okay. Around her, she estimates that 60 to 70 people had gathered at a distance, all watching, some filming with their phones. Some. Would they not all be filming? But like I said, some would have to be. Out of 70 people, we've got to say at least 10 people. So why have we not seen different types of clips, different type of paragraphs, different type of speech and thoughts from these killers? Anyway, meanwhile, the woman sitting by drummer Rigby's side was stroking his back, and it was later reported praying for him. Sorry for the pause. Okay, this lady says she has had no problems. I'm just reading this. This is the first time I've read this report, so. She says she had no problem sleeping in the days since. and hasn't really had a chance. So she's witnessed that, but yet she's had no problem sleeping. Since then, she's had no problem sleeping. Ask yourself the question, how would you be emotionally and physically? How would you be? She said, I stood up and said, why don't you want me to touch the body? The man staring hard back at her told her that the victim was a British soldier and that he had killed Muslim people in other countries. Like I said, how did he know he was a soldier? Because he had a Help the Heroes jumper on. I looked at the body and he didn't... This is what she said. I looked at the body and he didn't look like a soldier to me. She says Rigby was wearing a Help for Heroes t-shirt, although she couldn't tell this at that time. Instinctively, and through my scout training, I like to keep calm and be respectful. So I thought, okay, let's listen to what he has to say. I tried to engage him in conversation. Through scout training, she's now qualified to confront terrorists. Sign your kids up for the scouts. They're obviously doing a good job. Blah, 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 blah. Talk soon moved to the British foreign policy. So why are we not hearing none of this on camera? I said to him that I'm sorry that this happens in the countries that he was naming. Afghanistan, Iraq, etc. And I agreed with him that it shouldn't happen. He was saying that women and children were being killed just because they are Muslims. And they drop their bombs and no one cares. I said, I know, it's very sad. But I said to him, yes, it's happening. But what do you want now? Like I said to you, she's had these long conversations. Why have we not heard none of this on anyone's sort of video footage or whatnot? She asked him if he needed a car or money to help him flee. These scouts are good, man. They're good. But I really didn't want to influence him in any way. I want to fight, he said. In London, I asked. Yeah, I want a war in London. Okay, so like I said, after that, you'd think that this guy had really got it in for this country. And then why not? You've got your guns. Why not start popping off some other people that are in the vicinity? Anyway, what's a war in London? I said he couldn't do that, and why didn't he just join a proper army in those countries and kill as many as he wanted there? That would be a bit more useful than just being in London and doing this. He told me he wanted to do it in London. I told him the police would arrive soon. I don't care, he said. I'm going to fight them and shoot them. Did we, like I said, why did we not hear any of this? None of this. What she said next was picked out for particular praise as an inspiring repost to terrorists. Okay, I said, do you know what? It's only you and there are many of us. What do you expect out of that? I don't care, he said. I will have my war here. Let me just go through that. There was nothing to record. Okay. As the drama and jeopardy intensified, Loyal Kennett kept one ear open for police sirens. Just keep that ear open. Sorry. Oh, okay. She kept one ear open for police sirens, convinced they must be raised to the scene. But there was nothing. She recalls, her eyebrows bending in frustration. I was worried that if another British soldier walked by, he might see that and attack him. So you was worried for another British soldier, but you wasn't worried for yourself. You wasn't worried for anyone else in the vicinity. You wasn't worried about the old granny that was walking past him, but you was worried just in case another soldier came out. So you know this guy well enough to establish that he's only going to kill a soldier. You have just got off your bus and you're from Cornwall, but you know this guy well enough to know he's only going to kill another soldier if he walks by. Anyway. And he might. I didn't want to see the police trying to do something. Right, and I didn't want him to see the police trying to do something. If possible, I wanted him to see nothing. I wanted him focused on me. He was very agitated and pacing back and forth, close up to me. He was really upset, as you might be with an electric company because they've just sent you a £2,000 bill. He was very agitated, listen very carefully, and pacing back and forth close to me. He was really upset, as you might be with an electric company because they've sent you a £2,000 bill. Surely you look and see the comical side to this. He was educated and had good English. I just thought, talk to me. I didn't really want to read this whole report, man. Okay, right, I'm not going to read all this, but like I said, just from that bit there, you lot should see that this is this is comical. I'm sorry for laughing, but if I genuinely believe that what happened that day happened, then I won't be putting no videos on it. I'll be sending out condolences and messages saying, you know, like, obviously my feelings and kind of how I would be upset. If I really thought that happened, I would be upset that someone has died in that manner. His family and friends have got, do you understand? But a lot of things don't add up. Not just something don't add up. A lot of things don't add up. And like I said, as far as I believe, this country is a free country. So I can kind of say what I like within reason, maybe. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But all I've done here is try to kind of pick up on obvious flaws in this story. So comments are grateful. But yeah, this is definitely a comedy type sketch. And once again, let me just quickly just go back to everything. The calmness of everyone there, every single person there. What would you do? The amount of blood on the killers. What do you think about that? The police timing, their policy to not protect the British public and shoot on sight. What do you think about that? Do you feel safe now? If our police are going to take 20 minutes to attend a murder scene when there's hundreds of civilians in close proximity, do you feel safe with our police? Question you've got to ask yourself: what would you do in that situation, and then compare it to what we've been shown the public doing. So I didn't really want this video to be this long, and I didn't want to I didn't want to start laughing, but it's funny. It is funny. And there could be people say to me, well, why did they do it, and how did they? I don't know the questions to what, when, why, how, but all I know is that what we've been told and shown couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened. You don't need to be any expert in any field to know that what they've showed us couldn't have happened. Now there's people that believe Lee Rigby is dead, but they also believe that what's happened is not the whole truth. So therefore you should ask yourself, if that's not the whole truth, then possibly he's not dead either. It might be. He might be. But what we've seen is clearly edited and chopped, and it's not, like I said, it's not sustained. It's not 20 minutes of footage. Show me, show us. That's what we deserve to see. 22 or whatever duration of time. We need to see a sustained video footage. Now, think about it. Surely someone out there that witnessed that would have filmed the whole thing. Could be wrong, but I'm not usually wrong. So, but these are just basic sort of intuitions that we should all have, is that someone surely would have at least a 12-minute sustained video. But we ain't seen nothing. We've seen little clips, and like I said, once again, all those clips is the guy saying the same thing. Now this lady here is saying that he said this and he said that and blah blah. Why don't we have any of that on tape, on video? Why is there none of that? When these sort of things happen, sort of the shock takes over you. So you initially think, you believe what you see. You believe what you see initially because it is so shocking. And I'm not talking about witnesses, I'm talking about people that have watched it on TV. You look at it and you kind of believe it, but now dissect it, split it into little sections, things that I've touched upon, and then use your common sense. Use your basic human common sense, and then maybe reevaluate your conclusion. I've changed my mind many of times. Since this happened, I said straight away, I put a video out, I said, black guys wouldn't stand there after that, and blah, blah, blah. So I knew straight away it was a setup. But I also kind of thought that maybe the guy, I believed he was dead. I believed he was dead. Through limited research. Like I said, I haven't gone too deep. I then came to the conclusion that my kind of final conclusion is what I've put on here, is that I don't think he's dead, and if he is, he didn't die at their hands. Yeah, he didn't die in the way that we've been told he died. And give me a official autopsy, which I still wouldn't trust, but still, like, give the official autopsy describing his injuries, the amount of injuries, and then a 20-minute sustained video footage. Then maybe I'll change my mind, because I'm open-minded. Show me that, then I'll reevaluate what I said. But what I've seen so far, of course, everyone's going to be skeptical about what really happened. But yeah, definitely comment and let me know what you think. And yeah, just do your research once again.